Hey, my sinister hand here, and this is my tapeworm Harold, and today we're building a VCO.
Well, that's great and all, but I must ask, what is a VCO?
Well, Harold, a VCO is a voltage-controlled oscillator.
A voltage-controlled oscillator? Well, what does that do?
I tell you what, let's build one, and then I'll show you.
That sounds great.
Now, since I don't have much experience with electronics and I can't design my own circuits yet, I need to get a jump start with using a PCB to start building, and I found this one on AIsynthesis.com. They offer a number of modules from pre-built, full DIY kits with everything you need, or just the PCB. I opted for just the PCB as I'm building to the 5U standard and not the Eurorack standard. They have a wealth of information on their website, from detailed build guides to step-by-step videos to help you with the build. So our build here will be just a quick overview. So we're going to start by marking up our panel and drilling our holes.
How many holes does one need to drill?
Well, actually those are pilot holes there, Harold, and we need 4 holes for the pots and 8 holes for the jacks. I believe I'm using a 3/8 bit for the 1/4 inch jacks, but if you're doing 1/8 inch jacks, that will be different.
Yes, a nice buffing ought to do it.
That'll help get rid of the burrs and make sure the paint sticks. And while the paint dries, we're going to start on the circuit board build. This is the PCB I bought from AIsynthesis.com. This is a surface mount component that I really can't remember what it's called right now.
What on earth are those sticks for?
Those are diodes, Harold, and we're going to need 3 of these 4148 diodes. And then probably the most important component of this whole build is the CEM3340 chip, a very famous chip in old synthesizers. And then we need a TL074 as well.
They're like little robots.
We're going to need a couple IC sockets. Going to need some potentiometers.
Well, I see a little switchy there.
A switch. We're going to need some jacks, some knobs, a couple transistors, some pin headers, some trimmer pots. Going to need assorted capacitors and resistors. And let's start the build.
Well, this certainly looks complicated.
It's not actually that complicated, Harold. We're just going to solder in all the components according to the build guide. It's just the longest part, though. Now here's where I diverge from the build guide from AI Synthesis. Since they designed it for Eurorack, it's all designed to where the pots and jacks will solder directly to the board. But since I've got my own panel I've designed, I actually need to solder the pots and jacks off of the board with some wiring so that they reach the different places in my panel. We're almost done here, guys. We're just going to put the panel on, add some knobs, and there we go. Well, as you can see, it's all built and we've got it installed in the case. Now, Harold, let me show you what this thing does. An oscillator actually produces a waveform, be it a sine wave. Nice and smooth, huh? A triangle wave. A little more aggressive, a little more edgy. A saw wave. A lot more aggressive, and a square wave. Now come back, Harold. There's nothing to be scared of. Believe it or not, this is kind of the building blocks of music. I know it may not sound like it right now, but the interesting thing about these modules is we can use CV or control voltage. Now what that allows us to do is actually control different parameters of this module. Let me show you something. Let's take a triangle wave. And I can take a voltage output from my BeatStep Pro here, go into the volt per octave, and I can actually control the pitch with the keyboard here. What do you think of that?
Well, that certainly does sound like music.
Now, we could further sculpt the sound if we had other modules. If we had a filter, we could filter out different frequencies and affect the tone. Now, as you notice, it's just one constant tone right now, and the only control I have is to turn this volume knob up and down, right? Well, there's a way to automate that. If we had a voltage-controlled amplifier, I could actually send gate signals from this BeatStep Pro into the amplifier, and it would automatically turn the volume on and off for me. So as I hit the keys, it would seem more like a traditional keyboard.
Well, it sounds like we need more modules.
Damn straight, Harold. Join us next time when we build a voltage-controlled filter. Until then, this is my sinister hand, and Harold the Tapeworm, signing off.